All right, today we're going to talk about the 9Barista stovetop espresso machine, which is something very, very interesting. And I'm just going to speak off the cuff here on this video. I've been playing with it a lot. I've had a lot of thoughts on it. I mean, you have to ask yourself the salient question, who is this for and is it worth it? So those are kind of the things that we're going to look at when we're considering the 9Barista in this video, because it's not exactly cheap. And with that being said, let's just dive into the build materials, the build origin, the design, where it comes from, and so on. So it's a really interesting kind of thing here that you're looking at. It reminds you of a Bialetti, but it's not a Bialetti. It works differently. So on the top here, we've got a portafilter. You can remove that. And the portafilter, of course, has got this side here, which is normally the bottomless side that you would see upside down on traditional espresso machines. Here, it's the other way around. And that's one of the things that makes it very, very cool. It has a handle. The handle is wooden, and that is already a point I like to mention. These handles, they get a little bit loose as you're using it. And that's kind of like one point I'd like to mention that's a little bit unfortunate about it. But anyway, we've got here a 53 millimeter basket that comes with the machine. Also comes with what I'm quite sure is a silicone shower screen that also holds your grounds in there as you're turning it upside down to put back here onto the base of the unit. Now what's interesting, I thought that this was stainless steel because it's quite heavy and because of the silver color, but in fact, looking on the website of 9Barista, it's not stainless steel, it's actually nickel-plated brass. That's what we got going on there for the portafilter. By the way, that is a small hole there. You can buy a fancier one where the hole is milled out further, and that will cost, I think, 100 or 120 extra. We've got here the base, and we've got the middle portion. What's interesting, okay, the base is nothing too crazy. Of course, this again it's brass, it's nickel plated. It has got a valve on it here, which you can use to release the vacuum that's left over at the end of the extraction. And it does also have, it's hard to see, it's got very, very tiny print inside in which it says fill up to here. So you fill up to this upper lip. If you're used to using Bialettis where you just fill up to the valve, you got to make sure to fill it up to the lip because that has a lot to do with the functionality of the machine. This is a piece which has been, as far as I understand, turned on a lathe and milled. Looking at the bottom of this unit, it is branded. It says 9Barista. It's got the serial number on it. What else is interesting is that it says designed and made in the UK. So I think that is part of what really makes this machine expensive. Anytime that's being made in a Western country, it's going to be expensive because labor is just that way. So that's the bottom portion there. This is what they call the boiler. And now where it gets interesting, however, is this piece here. Here you can see we've got a bottom part, which is just normal brass. We've got what looks to be here like a siphon. This goes up into the stem and it connects to these coils here. So these coils act as a heat exchange. Then it goes up to the top of the unit. It's going to exit up here. We're going to take a look at that process once we get it filled up and start testing it, just to go over some of the features here. It's also got a chimney where the steam is going to exit, and at the top it has got where the water exits. It's kind of like a pre-shower screen, you could say. By the way, the 9Barista also comes with some nice packaging. It comes with really, really clear directions, clear graphics, which is nice to see. Everything is described. So you know this part is the boiler. This part here is what they call the brew group with the heat exchanging coils on there. And yeah, everything is labeled so you kind of have a better idea of what you're dealing with. It also comes with a little swag, comes with this sticker. It comes with a little tamper, which is nice. It's a metal tamper, so the bottom is stainless steel. The top part screws off. This is much lighter. This is an anodized aluminum, black anodized. That's what comes with it so far. You can also buy other stuff. So this was sent to me, by the way, or given to me to borrow for a little while from Scott over there in Switzerland. And he also bought this 9Barista funnel. It's got magnets on the bottom. It is like a turquoise anodized aluminum piece. Really nice design on it and it works well. I like to use this too. Of course, you can also buy a couple other accessories. You can buy this heat transfer plate. I believe this is aluminum and I thought that it was black anodized. First time I used it, it turned red. That's interesting. Now, at this point, I'm going to say, as far as my terminology is concerned and explaining what's going on here, I don't come from this type of engineering, and I'm not a mechanical engineer. I have all of my experience in software for automation. So just keep that in mind, okay?
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
So with all that being said, I think we should make ourselves a shot and just kind of see how this thing works, because it is pretty neat. So first things first, we're gonna fill up this bottom boiler up into the lip. This, by the way, is filtered water. We have really, really hard water where we live, which is a pain in the butt. And even, unfortunately, these heat exchanger coils have already gotten like a film on them from the minerals. That's kind of a shame. Now here's the interesting point though. What's going to happen is we're going to separate this into two water chambers. One water chamber is going to remain on the bottom where the water is, and that's what's going to get heated. That's going to get heated to a really high temperature. I think the website says 179, 180 degrees Celsius. But what we're going to do with this O-ring is separate the water into two chambers, the lower one here and the upper one, which is going to encompass and act as a jacket for these heat exchanger coils. So the heat exchanger coils are now submerged in water. And now it does say in the directions that you can go ahead then and start firing that up, and that's going to save some time. But I have found that with the gas stove, it goes pretty quick, like just 4 minutes. With an electric stove, it took me like between 7 and 9 minutes. So I'm just going to get this completely prepared before starting that. Let's go ahead and prepare our puck. I've got 18 grams right here of freshly roasted beans. This is an 80% Arabica, 20% Robusta mix. And I got this DF54 set at 16. That seems to be a good spot for me with this particular bean. Okay, so I'm gonna plop the basket back inside and use this nice 9Barista funnel. And here we go. Do a little bit of WD-T while we're at it, get it distributed nicely. What I do like about the design is that the portafilter lies completely flat here on the surface, so that's nice. You can just give it a tamp. I brought this tamping station, but I don't need it. Excellent. So now, as you can imagine, if I would just put this on top like that, I would end up probably dumping out the grounds. So that is one of the reasons that you need here. This shower screen or shower cap, we're gonna stuff that on there like so. And one nice thing, a nice detail that they worked into the design is that they have this keyed on this side. The portafilter tab is longer than on this side, so you can only put it in one way. Excellent. And now all that remains to do is to put this on heat and wait about 4 minutes. This heat transfer plate, by the way, serves two purposes. First of all, it makes it a little bit easier. It's a better surface to put this on top of, and it also distributes the heat so that it goes faster. You can use this on this camp stove. You can also use it on a stove, on an electric one. Okay, so there's something else I should mention about how this works. As I mentioned, in the boiler, the water temperature is going to get up to about 180 degrees Celsius. Then it's going to move up into those heat exchanger coils. When it's in the heat exchanger coils, it is jacketed with that water in the upper chamber, as I mentioned. So what's going to happen, you'll see it here on the temperature probe, is that that area there is going to end up being right around 98, 99 degrees Celsius. So that really hot water that's coming out of the boiler and entering the heat exchanger coils is going to get cooled down from that 180 down to 100 due to the heat exchange there. You'll also notice that the water is going to boil off as that's happening. Once it reaches 9 bars, at that point, that about 100-degree water is going to open up a valve and it's going to go up through these fins here and exit out into the shower screen. And these fins are supposed to reduce it from 100 down to 93 degrees. So that's a really cool thing about this machine. It handles the temperature for you and it handles the pressure as well. It's really a no-brainer. You don't have to wait for it to warm up like you do with a traditional espresso machine. It just takes care of those two variables for you, and that's the cool thing. $80 degrees. Oh, 95 degrees. It's going to start steaming here pretty quick. Oh, there it comes. That is pretty. Let's give it a taste and see how it is. Oh, that's nice crema. All right, we got 41.5 grams out. What you're putting there in the boil in the beginning is 120 milliliters, by the way. And what I've been getting out is anywhere between 38 to 45 grams of espresso. Smells pretty good. It's good. It is a tasty shot. I know these beans, I know what to expect. And of course I get the chocolate notes, that's up front. It takes a while, but then sweetness comes at the end. I thought I was gonna experience more bitterness. There is just a little bit at the beginning of the sip because I think it ran a bit long. But for me, it's a very tasty shot. And I think the advantage with this machine is that it does everything for you, including the temperature and the pressure. And so far I have not gotten a shot where I thought, oof, that's terrible, that's astringent, I don't want to drink it. It's given me good shots. Yeah, the dark chocolate notes are really present in the shot. It's delicious. Let's just talk about the machine. Is it worth it and who is it for? Is it worth it? Yes, and also no. It totally depends on the kind of person that you are. So if you're a person who wants to be preparing shot after shot, and who also wants to make milk drinks, like I brought this down here just to show it, well, you can't make milk drinks. This is just for espresso. Then the machine is not for you. It's also, I mean, it's about 500 bucks or 500 euros. And therefore, I mean, it's expensive. You can get a different machine that's going to be able to make espresso for you one after the other, as well as milk steaming. If, on the other hand, you're a person who appreciates really cool design and build and quality of the machining, then I would say yes, it is worth it for you. I mean, what this is a talking piece. It will always remain a talking piece. If you have guests over, they're going to be like, what is that? That is crazy. And it's really neat how it works with the heat exchanger principle, with the 2 water chambers, with the fact that the portafilter is upside down so you can see the beauty of the espresso coming out. And yeah, from a design standpoint, from a principle standpoint of how it works, it's really, really unique. There's nothing else like it. And it makes good espresso. Okay, you have to consider that also. It does make good espresso. I should mention one other thing. Cleaning this thing is a little bit of a pain in the butt. because it's not just taking off the portafilter and banging it out and rinsing it. You also have to take the boiler off the group head, and before you can do any of that, you got to cool it down. So I'm just going to show you the process here, and you'll see what it's like. All right, cleaning it off isn't that bad. We first have to cool it off. And then after cooling, I would recommend to release the pressure in the lower boiler. Now we can take off the upper portafilter, remove that. We can unscrew the bottom boiler from the brew group. All right, I would suggest drying that off really good. Remove the cap here. And now we have to scrape out the grounds. And then I just rinse it out really good. You can also remove it. Make sure to get the inside of the portafilter really good. The basket is now all clean. Dry everything off really well, put it together, and you're good to go. So those are my thoughts on the 9Barista. Now I'm wondering, what do you guys think about this? Is it for you just a niche product? Is it something that you will buy because it's really neat? Or what do you think about it? I hope that you liked this video. If so, give it a like. If you thought it sucked, give it a thumbs down. Whatever the case, until next time, I say arrivederci, pfiat and bye now. Nice.